Now we're going to take a look at iBooks, one of the most educationally pertinent and most simplistic apps out there. When I click on iBooks, it's going to load what looks like a library bookshelf, and you may not have anything on your bookshelf to begin with, but as you begin to add things, your archive or your bookshelves will grow and grow and grow until you have tons of books in here. Right now I'm in what would be called the e-book collection. And up here you'll notice there's even a button called collections because there's different types of collections you can have in iBooks. There's only two, but they're substantially different. If I click on the collections, you'll notice I can go to books or I can go to PDFs. So if I get a PDF in an email, I can actually open that PDF in iBooks, but it's going to put it on a separate shelf. So when I click on that, you'll notice I have no PDFs on this particular iPad, and so it looks like my bookshelf or my collections are empty, except for the fact that I do have 3 EPUB books in here. These are electronic publications. They're books that have cascading style sheets and manifests built in with them. You'll learn more about that in your EPUB assignments. But if I click on this first book right here, untitled book, called eBook Magic, you'll notice eBooks come standard with the ability to flip, and you have pages in here that are built in. This is a very, very generic EPUB that I created by myself with the iPad actually, and we'll learn how to do that later on as well. But if I want to come in here and look at a different book or look at a professionally done book, I might need to jump into the store to get one. You'll notice when I load the store, that was that button back here at the top. Let me show you that one more time. Right up here in the top left corner is the store button. If I jump in there, it looks just like iTunes or just like the App Store, only now instead of showing me apps, it's showing me, of all things, books. You'll notice a great number of the books do cost at least a fair amount of money, but they are rife with crystal clear digital imagery and searchable text, which make them as valuable, if not more valuable, than the hard copies that you can buy in the store, and they're very comparable in price, if not cheaper, on almost every case. What I'm going to do now, though, is actually type in something in the search engine, and we'll just stick with the trucks theme here. Trucks, search, and you'll notice I have all of these books, and some of them even are free. So let's go ahead and grab that free book here called Adventures in Land of Something. So when I click on the free part, it says Get Book. Instead of Install App, it says Get Book. Now I have to type my password, which you're not allowed to look at. And after I type in my password, it should begin to install, and there we go. You can see the little blue line go. And now it says New in the upper corner because it realizes I haven't read it yet, but I open this up, and here's my free book. When I flick through here, there's the cover, title page, and now you can see that you can add in hyperlinks in here, and this was actually created by somebody who probably just e-published themselves as well, but it even has the table of contents where I can jump ahead to other books and go in there. Take a look at it. Whenever you want to access the control panel, you just tap someplace in the middle of your page, and you'll notice you get this little scrub handle down here at the bottom that allows you to scrub through your book, and it even shows or highlights what it is that you are resting on if you let go. So if I go here, I'll go to chapter 11, How Will I Survive? And when I let go, it takes me exactly to that page. Tap here again, and you'll notice not only do I have that scrub handle, I have that library button, I have the table of contents button, and then over here are some of the key things that I may have, which are my font changing styles, my search, and my bookmarks. But to illustrate that, I'm actually going to go find one more book that I think all of you should have. So if I come back to my library, and I hit the store one more time, and I go up here, and instead of doing trucks, I do iPad and search it, you're going to see that there's a slew of iPad user guides out there, and the iPad user guide right here for iOS 5 is not only good, it's great, and you can see that I have downloaded it before. I'm going to download it again, let it install, and then I'm going to show you some things that are special about ebooks. While that's loading, let's point out the fact that you can search your books. So once you get a giant number of books in here, you can search them and find titles. You can also edit your books by hitting the edit button over here, which allows you to click on them and delete them or move them around at will. I'm going to just say done. You can also switch from the tabbed icon look here to just a listed set of books. But I'm going to jump back to the bookshelf view. My book has loaded. It says it's new. I'll jump in there. And this is a much more professional version of an EPUB publication, and you can see already that it's pretty dynamic looking and pretty nice looking, as well as it's color coded, easy to flip through, images are in there, and here's the best part of it all. This table of contents button up here allows me to at any point jump to sections of the book or even check my bookmarks or my notes. So if I go into iPad in Business right here, page 339, it jumps me directly to iPad in Business. Page 339 of 380. That's important to note because watch what happens here now. If I change the font style right up here, I can also change the coloration and the themes. I can make it sepia tone if I want to, or change the font styles. That's part of ePublications. You can change those cascading style sheets. But if I increase the font size, realize I'm on the same exact page, iPad in Business. But now, instead of being on page 339, I'm on page, it may show me, 425 of 488. So now watch this. This is the clever part. If I come back to table of contents, iPad in Business is still iPad in Business, page 434 right here. And so it automatically shifted and recognized that I increased the size of my font and adjusted the table of contents to match. I can now bookmark this page as a page that I want to return to, flip through here, go to another new page right here, bookmark that one as well. And remember, when I come back to the table of contents, I can now check my bookmarks. And there are my 2 bookmarks that I've created for myself so that I can easily reference as I'm teaching or showing students where I want them to go. And now you have to change your paradigm just slightly. Instead of using your hard copy book with your students and saying turn to page 445, we may need to rethink this and say, all right, everybody has an EPUB book instead of a hard copy. Don't turn to page 445 because my page 445 may not be yours. Rather, go to chapter 11 or chapter 8 and this section so students can more easily migrate around and get to where they need to go by simply using that table of contents and all of those pieces within there. That is the end of this, like I said, simple tool but very powerful utility for educators and education.